Today we're going to be looking at the word preference of Nigerian politicians, why they always prefer abroad for their political meetings. My interest in this story was actually piqued by the recent trip by some politicians to meet in London. The former president Olusegun Obasanjo, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the Labour presidential candidate Peter Obi, Wike of Rivers State, and even the presidential flag bearer of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And my question is, why did they have to leave Nigeria to go all the way to London to meet?
We met with the presidential candidate of All Progressive Congress. We met with our leader, former president of Nigeria, Chief Obasanjo, and the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. We also met with our own presidential candidate. Yes, for interpretation. Never mind some people who do not believe in the existence of this country. Some people who are just interested in their own. Some people who only know how to produce their own children as governors or members of National Assembly.
In fact, I'm just wondering why the penchant for these politicians to always prefer having their meeting abroad, especially this time that things are so not working well for the country in terms of security. Could the reason for their meeting abroad, could it be because of the worsening security situation in the country? They don't feel safe congregating. Is that why they, preferred going to London to have their political meetings? And someone said perhaps they are scared of congregating in Nigeria for fear of being bombed by terrorists. Of course, in recent times there has been a worsening security situation in Nigeria. So they could probably have been advised not to hold that meeting in Nigeria for fear of being bombed by terrorists. In fact, he's like giving a safety advice to the head of the household. When traveling, he's advised not to take all the members of the household in one flight. And he can go with some kids and in one flight, and depending on the size of the family. And then while the wife will come with the remaining children in a different flight, and that this is the way of varying the risk in case something happens. So someone was just saying that, I don't know how true that is, but then I just remembered most of us that have been in business school, we were taught in business school that we have to vary our risk portfolio. That when we are pulling our resources together, it's not advisable to pull all our resources and then put in one investment portfolio in the event of unfavorable outcome. That it was right for we to vary our risks by investing in different investment portfolios, so that if one investment crashes, and then the other one will become a bailout for this other investment. So that was what we were taught in business school. So now these politicians, they can be selfishly smart. You've seen how very unsafe Abuja has been besieged in recent times with terrorist activities. There has been terrorist attacks back to back in Abuja. The recent Kuje prison break, and then the killing of presidential guards, and the fact that the president convoy was even attacked. So now most people are saying that maybe they were advised that if they congregate in Nigeria, maybe that'll just be the time where these terrorists will just come in and bomb the whole place, and all these guys will just go. So because of that fear, they decided to go abroad for their political meeting. I don't know how true that is, but that is the story they put. Here, what I do here is to bring up issues in order to provoke conversation around such issues. So if you think that is the story, that's one of the reasons why these politicians have to go to London to meet for fear of being bombed by terrorists in Nigeria. So, and then after they were advised that if they congregate in Nigeria, they may likely be bombed, and then you wanted really that these politicians should have their meetings here in Nigeria. You must be kidding me. Because that just reminds me of what happened, I think it was in 2018. Yes, 2018, when Mr. President, then Professor Yemi Osinbajo was the acting president. Mr. President had gone to London for medical tourism. I love English, I'm telling you. Medical tourism, not has gone to London to seek medical treatment. See, English is very interesting. I must tell you, it's an interesting language. It just has a way of euphemizing things that would have come with a very big impact, with a big bang. It has a way of euphemizing, those kind of expressions. Instead of saying the president has gone to abroad or has gone to London to seek medical treatment, he said has gone on medical tourism. Just like someone always come and say, "Oh, grandpa has died," like grandpa died. But the English language will tell you to euphemize that expression so that you mitigate the impact, the effects that will have on the object, the person you're giving the story to. That why would you say grandpa just died when you can as well say grandpa has just kicked the bucket? Because the person that you're saying grandpa has just kicked the bucket, it's going to take some seconds for the person to even process that, because it won't hit him as grandpa just died. It will hit him. The grandpa just kicked the bucket. So it takes some seconds for the person to process that information, to realize that it's actually grandpa just died. So that few seconds that is going to take, the impacts, the effects of the message, of course, would have been reducing. So that's what the English language does to you. And then someone will come and say, maybe there's a neighbor in where you live, and then someone just comes out and say, sir, the next door neighbor just impregnated your daughter. You can see the impact of that. It comes boom, it hits you, so you get the message. But the English language has told us that no, you don't give those kind of messages. You try to euphemize it so that it reduces the impact. And like, your next door neighbor just puts your daughter in the family way. So the father is going to process, it won't hit the father as much as it would have hit the father if it was said, has implemented your daughter in a family way. Before the man realizes it, the impact of the anger would have been reduced. Anyway, that's just by the way. So, okay, that's when he said the president was on medical tourism. Instead of saying the president went on medical treatment, they tried to euphemize the word. They went on medical tourism. So then, I think what really happened that period was why I'm bringing these stories, and I'm just trying to establish the reason the politicians could probably have gone abroad in the heat of the worsening security situation in Nigeria could probably be akin to what happened in 2018 when DSS besieged the National Assembly, and when the president was on medical tourism. I'm going to use that. I won't say went for medical treatment. Medical tourism, when the president went on medical tourism. And then the vice president was acting as the president then. And then the National Assembly woke up one day, and then DSS, as you can see from the picture there, DSS besieged the whole complex and ensuring that no one got into the complex. And the whole news item was that because Mr. President has been away, and people were thinking that they wanted to impeach Mr. President because he's been away for a longer time. And then so the opposition and senators were planning an impeachment move. So they were trying to get some numbers the numbers for that impeachment. And then they had their nocturnal meeting. DSS got a wind of what they were planning to do. So as early as 8, they were 8 a.m. they were at the complex. So these senators could not find their way in that complex. So my question is, how did the DSS even get to know that there was a meeting? You know, these politicians, they always have they are like nocturnal beds. They always have their nocturnal meetings, very ungodly hour of the night. That even reminds me, you see why women cannot be good politicians in Nigeria, because which woman want to go on to be having meetings with politicians in the dead of the night? Because these politicians, they always fix the meeting from 1 a.m. 2 a.m. and then they have it tracked. Have my wife wants, oh darling, probably my wife will just come to me, oh sweetheart, I want to go for a meeting. And like, you want to go for a meeting, do you know what the time is? Of course I won't allow you to go for that meeting. So these politicians deliberately fix these meetings in this ungodly hour to technically knock out these women and make them irrelevant, because that's why when a woman politician, he wants to come, and in Nigeria, women politicians are not really very successful, because there has been a deliberate design by this their male counterpart to always put things where it will disadvantage the women. So that's just that. So now I was wondering, how did DSS even know that these politicians had this nocturnal meeting, and then they were coming the following day to make a move against the government? So they besieged the National Assembly. So in protest, the senators were protesting, as you can see from the picture. They were protesting. They converged in one vehicle going to, I think it was Unity Square, to protest. And then most Nigerians were like, God, the problem we're having in this country is in this vehicle, this lorry that is carrying these politicians. Can the terrorists come now and hijack this lorry and then set it ablaze? I was like, whoa, that's a bit harsh. But jokes apart, that is the sentiment of most Nigerians about these politicians. You can imagine what they're thinking. Oh, Nigerian problem is this vehicle that is carrying these people. Can this vehicle disappear? So perhaps these guys, they know the way Nigerians think about them and their plan, especially the terrorist plan. And then they decided to go to London. So now let's deconstruct this. What do you think could be the reasons why these politicians would prefer meeting abroad? Leave your comments in the comment section. Before I proceed, let me welcome you to my channel, Shanice Digest. I welcome on board my new subscribers, while I continue to appreciate my returning subscribers. This is the channel where we get to speak out, and then we say it just like the way we say it, point blank, no sentiments. Thinking of this weird preference, these are politicians who want to lead this country. Some have even led in the past. Some are even in political offices, yet they couldn't provide safe haven for themselves to have their meetings here. Now they run into other countries where their safety can be guaranteed. And these are politicians who have the security votes, the constituency allowance, yet they cannot even create a safe haven within their own political enclave. They would rather want to jack back, just like Nigerians would say, to where they think their safety can be guaranteed, forgetting that this society that they're running into was made safe by politicians just like themselves. So this is where I draw the curtain for today. Thank you for finding the time to watch my video. If you like the content of my video, please do give it a thumbs up. Strike on that notification bell so that you get to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Leave your comments down below and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Remain awesome while I see you pretty soon. Peace out.